than to place them on a future agenda. If you wish to comment, you can do so in person at the meeting or raise your hand featured in Zoom, or *9 if you're participating via phone. Public comments are limited to 3 minutes. Please avoid repetition. The mayor may, at his discretion, hold comment until the second public forum at the end of the meeting. Public comments submitted prior to 4 p.m. the day of the meeting will be provided to City Council and added to the record, but will not be read during live meeting. Any public input received after 4 p.m. the day of the meeting will be included in the record, but may not reach council members before action is taken. Is there any public input at this time?
Good evening, Council. Cody Wagner for the record. First, wanted to start, I did not know that about Fran's husband. Wanted to make sure Fran knows she's in our thoughts tonight. That is really, really sad to hear. I always like to start things pretty positive. The CRC building, since it's open, I think has been a huge benefit to our community. You go out there, you see the hundreds of kids running around. It's been awesome. Oscar and his staff have been incredible running it. Being on that board, I know there was a lot of concern financially about just being able to sustain that building, and it's gone way better than any of us had anticipated. They've brought $4 million now of private funding to the project to build an ELC. Yeah, now kind of on the negative side, and I don't want to make this too negative. You guys know how much I think of you individually. So this is not attacking anyone on the council. This is just attacking the process. Tomorrow on your budget, looking through that $500,000 backup generator for the CRC on there. I don't understand how that wasn't included in the initial build. Like, that was a part of this being an emergency response center. It's a $500,000 to me that looks like an error that now is being taken out of the transient lodging tax fund to fund that. I just don't understand how that's the accountability factor there. How that didn't get done. I was in those meetings. I understood that was part of the project. And now a year later, all of a sudden it's coming up. And then I'm looking at some consent agenda items tonight. And there's like $1 million of planning items, which seems like a lot to get just plans back. A lot. So, you know, I get it takes plans to do things. It just feels like money should be invested in doing things instead of planning to do things. Coming from a planning commissioner, we have a master transportation plan, a master parks plan, our general master plan that have all been done. And it kind of seems like, I don't know, are our parks all of a sudden better because we have a plan, or is our transportation better? I'm looking over this contract for both 2.12 and 2.13. 2.13, if you do the calculation on hours and take the total divided by the hours, we're looking at $400 plus per hour for consultants. Why not just hire a facilities person with the city and fund them for 5 years to get this done and have someone who works for your staff? That's the way I'd go if I was up there making decisions. The other thing I wanted to say, I'm involved with another process right now, Boys and Girls Club of Mason Valley. Found funding to build a Boys and Girls Club in Silver Springs. Unbelievable, completely private. And guess what? Their Boys and Girls Club, they're presenting tomorrow. Club, kitchen, gym, ELC, all together. Less than a $12 million project, completely private funded. Silver Springs is going to get a heck of a thing. We've been at this for 10 years and still don't have a community gym built. So it is frustrating. Thank you.
Thank you.
Evening. My name is Darren Farr. I'm a Fernley resident, and I'm here to speak on items 5.1 and 6.1 of the agenda. Fernley is transitioning from a sleepy little bedroom community to a municipal city of industry. With this growth comes a need for proactive infrastructure planning. We have a responsibility to anticipate future environmental, technological, and socioeconomic changes and build resilient systems to sustain our future. This is a city is being offered an enormous opportunity right now. The Victory Logistics development is exactly the public-private partnership we need. This project will not only bring in thousands of jobs where Fernley residents can stay closer to home, it will provide the roads, water, sewer, communications, and electricity to sustain that growth. Critical to that growth is the engine that powers it. The Mark IV Capital Group is offering to build that engine that not only will be the city not have to pay for, but will actually gain revenue from it. I urge you, my city leaders, to approve the Fernley Power District working group. It is essential that we take advantage of this advantage that no other community has at this time. This city was already growing before Victory Logistics came to town. That growth has been difficult as this small town desperately sought answers to infrastructure needs like roads, traffic, and housing. We cannot keep a small town mentality anymore. We have a future to build. This proposed power plant provides a revenue stream for years to come. The best part is this, it is just the beginning of the sustainable, forward-thinking ideas being brought forward by Mark IV Capital and the Victory Logistics District, ultimately resulting in better residential, healthcare, education, and stability outcomes for Fernley overall. I thank you for your time.
Thank you. Any further public comment? Anyone on Zoom? And nobody on the phone, right? Okay, thank you. We'll now move on to line item 1.4, looking for approval of the agenda. Oh. Is your light on?
Yeah, so
Where's John? John, this isn't working. Okay, Councilman Hannon, go ahead.
make a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
I'll second.
We have a motion and second. Please vote. It's not working. Do I need to do a verbal? Let's do a verbal. Ward 1, Councilman Hannon. Oh, there it is. Okay, thank you. That motion carries 4-0. Now move on to line item 2, consent agenda. Councilman Hannon.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd like to make a motion to approve the consent agenda with item 2.13 pulled for individual discussion at the request of Councilman Zaberski.
Okay, can I get a second?
Second.
We have a motion by Councilman Hannon, seconded by Councilwoman Zaberski. Please vote. That motion carries 4-0. Now we will go to line item 2.13 that was pulled for discussion. It's discussion possible action to approve a contract with TSK for preparation of the City of Fernley Facilities Master Plan in the amount not to exceed $876,036. Councilwoman Zaberski.
My computer's not working, so I'm gonna try and find my notes. I guess I have the same concerns as Mr. Wagner. $1 million for plans, and I know it's a pretty long, drawn out plan. But I guess I just need a better understanding of it going forward and what all it entails. So if you could kind of give me some clarification on that, that'd be awesome.
Okay. Barry Williams, Public Works Director for the record. We actually do have a representative with TSK on the line who can answer any questions that you may have.
Go ahead, TSK representative, are you on the line?
Yes, I am.
I guess more for you as well, Barry, just if you can help me understand why it's better for us to go this direction opposed to any other way that we could. And was this put out to bid
This
this a
was
low-
put out to bid, yes. This went through an RFP process and TSK came in at lowest bid and they met all of our requirements that was put out in the RFP. The reason that we went this direction is because the amount of facilities that we have. We have facilities like the City Hall building that's been here for over 20 years, and we want to have a good plan to maintain and take care of it, as well as all of our other buildings that we have. In order for us to be effective with our budgeting and our planning, as far as our upkeep and sometimes even replacement of our buildings, a plan is needed to be able to ensure that we're being fiscally responsible.
Okay, so this is, the $1 million is just to formulate the plans for all of the city buildings. Do we have kind of a list of those buildings that they're looking at? Are we gonna get updates while they're creating the plan?
Absolutely. So we will be doing periodic updates at the midway point of the creation of this plan and also the finalized point when the plan is finalized. It'll come back to council for council input, and then we'll come back to you with the actual final version based off of the input given to us by council.
Okay, is it realistic to create a plan for 20 years if we're experiencing as much growth as we are? I
That's
mean, to go that far out?
Yeah, that's exactly the reason why we commissioned the plan. With the growth that we're experiencing, you take facilities like City Hall and our Cottonwood Maintenance Yard. Those facilities we've outgrown, right? So we have to have a good comprehensive plan to be able to move forward in a responsible manner. And that's the reason why we're moving forward with this plan.
Was there a thought to do the facilities plan in like a phases or split up at all so that we can focus on, these 10 buildings and then after the fact focus on the rest instead of doing it in one? I mean, in $1 million.
Yeah, we still do have that option. I mean, this is the approval process tonight for the buildings that we have listed, which is City Hall is one of those buildings. We also have the Chamber of Commerce building, the Depot building, CRRC that's included. We could totally phase that out if the city council chose to move that direction. But as far as the specifics of what the plan actually entails, we actually do have the representative that will be able to give us a little deeper dive into that if you'd like.
Great. Love to hear it.
Yeah, so if I could just say that these master plans are really important tools for municipalities that are in growing environments like the city of Fernley is. They really focus efforts, and where economics is concerned, this really gives us the guide rails for doing things like phasing and right sizing buildings that are either planned or produced within the city. It produces a sustainable scalability for extending services as the city grows. It typically improves service and coverage times. And then really, right sizing facilities within, city assets, right sizing those for the staff that's required to service a city as it's growing. And so really, it becomes the mechanism that focuses the economics over 5, 10, and 20 years. So rather than piecemealing and spending money on piecemeal solutions to problems, it's giving a comprehensive focused effort for those. And so in depth wise, we're looking at all of the city assets that are at least contained within this scope of work. And we're essentially triaging those out with economics tied to it to show how the city can meet the demands of its growth over 5, 10, and 20 years without overextending itself too far economically.
Thank you.
Councilwoman Mendoza?
So
Oh,
She's not done.
sorry, I'm not, but John was talking to me at the same time. I'm sorry, I'm not done yet.
okay, go ahead.
Sorry. Financially, is this a lump sum that's paid out before the plans take place? Is there an option for a check-in a year from now where we can see kind of where the plans are at? Or 6 months from now where we can see where the plans are at? Are we paying as the plans are coming in, or this is a lump sum for all of the plans all at once?
If that's a question to me, it's not a lump sum that's paid all in advance of this facilities master plan being done. It's phased over the period of performance, which is an extended period of time. That's based on specific benchmarks that we come up with your project team and Public Works. So for instance, I don't have the exact contract in front of me at the moment, but you know, if 25% of the performance is complete, then 25% of the lump sum is paid at that time. It's not a pay in advance kind of activity, if that makes sense.
Okay. Thank you very much.
And to add to that also, like we said, we would report back to you at certain phases of the project. And council would have the ability at that time to either say, okay, proceed with the next phase and the next portion of this contract, or defer it. So if we needed to defer a portion of that for another fiscal year, we could have that conversation as well.
Great. Thank you so much.
And Aaron Mortson, City Attorney, I would add, if you look at the TSK City of Fernley, not the contract, but the attachment A, the proposal, if you go down to page 38, it does have a breakdown of the compensation and how that's distributed.
Okay. As soon as I can get in here, I will go look at it again.
I'll go. Question for Barry and the TSK rep. Does this comprehensive plan essentially try to make it simple for the public and the community that's here to understand what this is actually doing? Because it's all plan, but are you guys going to go through and tell us, hey, this building looks like crap and we're going to give you drawings for a new one? Or this building looks like crap, you should fix this one first?
It could be a combination of both for some of our facilities. So I'll just to kind of put it in plain English. I believe that we're kind of in the situation that we're in due to a lack of planning. If you take our maintenance facilities, we've pretty much outgrown that 10 years ago due to a lack of planning. So the planning document could come back and say, okay, well, you've outgrown this facility. It's time to look for a new facility. Or these are the steps that you can take to make it usable. Same thing with City Hall. It's the same thing with our CRRC building, coming up with a good plan to be able to budget a certain amount of funds fiscally, being fiscally responsible and not having to defer maintenance and not having to come up with large lump sums of money 10, 20 years from now because we didn't plan for certain maintenance activities and certain expansion activities.
Isn't that kind of where we're at now with City Hall? We need more space anyways.
This is a known fact here at City
Right.
Hall, right? So this is the reason why we kind of want to get ahead of that. Come up with a document that gives us the idea of, okay, well, these are the steps that you need to take to make improvements to where you can continue to utilize this building for the next 10, 20 years, or maybe in the next 10 or 20 years, we're going to have to think about maybe expanding or moving to a different location based on population size, budget, taking all those factors into consideration. But having that document would be key to forecasting that information.
Does this include all the engineering that's going to be needed for building extensions or anything like that?
It does not. It's just a planning document.
It's just a plan.
Right.
So why don't we spend $800,000 on extending City Hall, knowing we know we have to extend City Hall?
We just don't know that if we do. And if we do have to extend City Hall or expand City Hall, where do we need to focus our expansions to?
Okay.
Are we going to grow in Public Works? Are we going to grow in our planning departments? Are we going to have more departments added at a certain point? This gives us a high level view of what to look for and what to expect in the future.
Being the new guy on the council, have we worked with this company before?
I personally haven't worked with this company. I know the city has worked with this company before.
Okay. Thank you.
Any further questions?
Are your lights working?
Go ahead, Councilwoman Zaborski.
I feel like he kind of just asked this, but it's all like tentative future facilities that we might have as well. Should we build an animal shelter or an extra fire department or anything like that, then this is also our future facilities that we have tentatively planned, but we don't have plans for? Are they going to be also lumped into these facilities plans?
Not with the initial plan. The initial plan is just focused on the facilities that we already have. But I'd keep in mind that this facility would be a living document. So if we needed to expand at some point, or if we needed to add facilities at some point, or if the document tells us, hey, in 20 years, you're probably going to need to have another building somewhere else, that would be a part of the existing plan or the current plan that we'd be applying for today. But as far as being outward thinking, and if we are, one of our priorities is to have an animal shelter at some point, we can add that to the plan and analyze that as we move through the process.
Okay, thank you.
If there, Councilman Hannon? If there's no further questions, I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Mayor,
Councilman Hannon,
I'd like to make a motion to approve consent agenda 2.13 as presented.
I'll second.
we have a motion by Councilman Hannon, seconded by Councilwoman Zaberski. Please vote. Motion carries 3-1. Thank you.
Thank you.
Now we will move on to line item 3. This is reports of various public entity representatives to provide general information to the council and the public. No action will be taken. Do we have Chief Deputy here? Oh, yes, he is.
Chief Deputy Mitch Branningham, Lyon County Sheriff's Office. Good evening, Council, Mr. Mayor, Deputy City Manager. Thanks for having me this evening. We have a lot of stuff going on in April. April is National Child Abuse Prevention Month. This Friday, April 3rd at 1500 hours, 3 p.m., all around the county, they're going to be doing a pinwheel planting ceremony. This is done every year to raise awareness for child abuse and prevention. Here in Fernley, that event's going to be taking place at the Boys and Girls Club right on Main Street. And we'll have some deputies out there helping plant pinwheels and interacting with the kids and doing those things. And we're looking forward to the display that normally comes out of that. It's pretty impressive, and the kids get to participate in it. It's a really nice event. April is also Sexual Assault Awareness Month. And the question I always get with that is what are we bringing awareness to? And really what we're trying to do is help raise awareness for prevention and to help raise funds in the appropriate areas to get money to the people that we can to help lower the sexual assault cases that come into the office, as well as provide support for victims of sexual assault. And the kind of symbol of that is the teal ribbon, and you'll see some teal ribbons and stuff like that around town. But we are supporting that event. And then the last one that I have is it's Donate Life Month, which we always participate in Donate Life Month with the Sheriff's Office. There's events all over Northern Nevada. We do host a couple things here locally. And really what we're doing is trying to raise awareness for organ donation. We're trying to get people signed up as organ donors. We participate with an organization that historically has not been local, but they're finally moving into our local area. They help coordinate with families to get the organ donations completed if we do have a death that qualifies under those circumstances. People can go to donatelife.net, which is the proper place that they could go to get registered as an organ donor. Yeah, and I said disclaimer every year, but being an organ donor does not make law enforcement or our medics hesitate or stop life-saving efforts. But we always hear that every time we put this out in public, somebody has that comment to make. We generally don't even know somebody's an organ donor until well after the fact, and that's when that coordination begins. But we have had a lot of success in this program, and we've been able to do a lot of really good things through organ donation. And so we are encouraging people to go and get signed up. And again, that is donatelife.net. People can go to and get signed up as organ donors. A couple other things that I had. We participated in the Inferno event here in town over the weekend. We had a couple deputies on site, not as response, but just as general participation and active deterrent. We had no major incidents to report coming out of Inferno over the weekend. All the deputies reported it was a great event, and they enjoyed participating in it. The other thing that I had is I saw a bunch of reports and stuff on social media, like Sunday evening, Sunday night, about a bunch of gunfire over in the area of Walmart and a large law enforcement presence over there. We did not respond to any reports of shots fired in that area. I went back and looked to see if there was something, maybe I missed something, but I did not have any records of reports of shots fired over in that area. We had a report about that same point in time across town, but that was an unfounded single caller incident. We did respond to an injury accident that was a substantial injury accident in that same area of Walmart and the freeway on-ramp right there about the same time that was going on. So I don't know if some of those reports came from that and there was just confusion about what people were hearing. But that's the information I have about it if people are asking. And then it's been about a month since we had a council meeting. Anytime we have that type of a break before I get to report to you, I always go back and take a little bit more detailed look at our statistics, our crime trends, things like that are going on. And again, looking for anomalies or looking for something that stands out as a little bit different than what's normally going on in the city. And I had a couple things I wanted to report on. We had 149 reports taken in Fernley since the last city council meeting on March 4th. During that time, we made 13 DUI arrests here in the city, which is pretty substantial. It's a little bit of an uptick for us. And we also respond to 16 reports of domestic violence during that time, which is pretty close to what we normally do, but I thought it was an interesting point of reference. We talk a lot about response to domestic violence, and in that same time period, we're arresting pretty much the same amount of people for DUI here in the city. So deputies are still out doing traffic enforcement. We are seeing an uptick in traffic enforcement a little bit here in the city. We've been focusing on the stop sign over there on Rosewood pretty heavily. And the sheriff and I were out there last week or the week before and did a bunch of enforcement on it. But if people do have those complaints, please reach out to us, get them in so that we can get them scheduled when we go out and do enforcement in those specific areas. That being said, I'd be happy to answer any questions if you have it.
Councilman Hannon?
No question. Just want to thank you again for all your hard work. Year after year, it just gets better and better. So all the things that we've been promised, you've delivered on. And so it's greatly appreciated. Every one of my constituents routinely tells me the presence of the sheriff's department, all the events, and just nothing but good stuff. So I really appreciate all your hard work, and we appreciate keeping Fernley safe. Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, thank you.
Hey, thanks.
Battalion Chief Snyder, would you like to report for Northline Fire? Thank you.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, Council. Bill Snyder, Battalion Chief, Northline Fire, for the record. Can any of you guys take a guess what I've been doing all day? Dealing with the same issues that we deal with every day. We ran 331 calls last month, the last 30 days. We had 4 working structure fires. One was a fatality. We had 4 calls within a 20-minute span. That 4th one being a structure fire with an adult male trapped with no leg. We almost killed a fireman that day. We had a 2nd structure fire that day, burned the home down. We had 2 additional structure fires in the preceding weeks, one being an apartment complex right down the road. Today, I did CPR or responded to someone's loved one, 17 years old, not breathing, did not make it. I'm in the city by myself. So to kind of echo what the fire chief asked for last council meeting, we have to prioritize public safety. And we really need you guys to consider staffing with the fire department. With that, we have a lot of growth coming. We had an open house from Mark IV, and there's a lot of exciting things coming. But I think it's critical that we pause and ensure that we're growing as a community and we're protecting the folks that live in this community without bringing in a lot of population with these thousands of jobs. Someone mentioned earlier tonight, that's thousands of people moving into the city potentially. And there are 4 people, sometimes 5 firefighter paramedics protecting the city between our 2 fire stations. We're building that 3rd fire station, which will be a shell of a fire station, which we have no funding to staff. So on behalf of the fire chief and the fire department, we really need you guys to have the conversations with us about public safety.
Thank you. Any Commissioner Jacobson, do you have anything to report from the county? No. School board, is Mr. Forrest still here? No. Okay, we'll move on to line item 3.1, and we'll start with Acting City Manager Lydia Oltek.
Good evening, everybody. Thanks for coming out. I do have some announcements. First of all, we have our 4th annual Easter egg hunt. That's this Saturday from 1 to 4 at the Out of Town Park. And contact April Homme and our city staff for more information if you need it. Next is the Fernley Senior Citizen Advisory Committee Fan Drive. This happens every year, and you may drop off any new fan here at City Hall up until April 10th, which is a Friday. And again, you can contact April Homme for more information. The Mayor's Corner we're bringing back from 8:30 to 9:30 a.m. at All Points Grill on Saturday, April 11th. Hope to see you there. Another Fernley Senior Citizen Advisory Committee Community Planting Day happening from 8 to 12 at the Desert Memorial Cemetery on Saturday, April 18th. Again, you can contact April Homme for more information. We are having our 2nd annual Business Expo, and I believe that is happening the same day from 1 to 4 here at City Hall. You can contact Jessica Murdoch for more information on that event. 25th annual anniversary of the city committee meeting. The next one is Wednesday, April 22nd from 8:30 to 10:30 in the morning. You can contact Jessica Murdoch for more information on that. The microchip clinic continues. It's every 4th Saturday of the month from 9 to 2. The next one is Saturday, April 25th. Contact Animal Services for more information on that. And then lastly, I just want to say, I don't know if you saw, but the newsletter is now inserted to the Fernley Reporter, and we're really excited about that. It comes out quarterly, and the first one was in the March 17th issue. So we're really excited to keep that going and perhaps become a monthly issue. We're debating. So let us know how you like it. If you want to see anything else presented in it. There's a lot of good information. And that's all I have. Thanks.
All right, thank you. Do we have any other staff that needs to report anything? Seeing none, we'll start with Ward 1.
Mr. Mayor. Barry Williams, Public Works Director, for the record.
Oh,
I did want to announce and bring forward that May 17th to the 23rd is going to be National Public Works Week, and Public Works Department will be programming a couple things for the community at that time. But I just wanted to give everyone a heads up for that.
okay, thank you. Sorry, the lights up here aren't working, so I didn't see if you pushed your light. I didn't see that you pushed it. So, we'll start with council reports. We'll start with Ward 1, Councilman Hannon.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Good evening, everyone. Been a busy month in March. I know a lot of us had birthdays. I know the chief deputy had a birthday. I want to wish you a happy birthday. Forgot. I believe there were a couple other ones here, but we had 3 25th anniversary committee meetings, one on the 10th, one on the 25th, and one today. We're very excited about the 25th anniversary of the city of Fernley and the events that will incorporate that week of 4th of July. And I encourage all of you to go to the City of Fernley website, and there's a link to the 25th anniversary events. So check that out. I attended 2 code enforcement open house workshops on the 13th and the 14th, where we had a robust conversation about code enforcement in the city and a great participation by the public. And we got a lot of great input. We thank the public for that. Participated in March Madness at Mark IV on the 19th. I want to thank them for that. Got to talk and go look at the facility and meet other local leaders and talk about some projects going on there. Can't read. Oh, I went to the city council candidate night too, met all the new candidates. I wish them all the best. And then I attended the Victory Open House over the weekend on the 28th. A lot of you got mailers inviting you to the open house, and this is something I think they're going to do in a few more months. They were giving personalized tours out to the growth development area and explaining what their plans are. It was a great way to spread facts about the project and help the public learn what's going on in our community. I want to thank Mark for Victory for hosting that event. It was well received, and the folks that I talked to in the days after were very happy. There's a lot of folks that weren't able to attend who want to attend the next one. So I encourage you to keep that going. So with that being said, I have nothing else. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Ward 2, Councilwoman Zaberski.
I don't have anything big. I would just, for those residents that don't have children, next week is spring break. So we'll have a lot more kids out and about. I think it's supposed to be nice outside. So I just expect to see a lot more kids next week. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Ward 4, Councilman Torres, and he's got a list of stuff.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The first thing was the Fernley Aces Art and Culture Event Squad held Inferno this last weekend. It was a big hit, and one of the Facebook comments, and this report's put together by April Hami. Thank you, April. So much greatness this weekend. First, let me say, as someone who sees several concerts a year at different venues, as someone who went to Night in the Country in Yerington, since it was a new event, and another 13 years after that, the Fernley Aces did a bang-up job with this event. Are there places to improve? Sure. But the people that went had a blast, and that's what it was all about. So thank you to Fernley Aces, to every vendor, volunteer, all the medical, the firefighters, and the sheriff's office, the people who turned their wrenches and signed the paperwork to make this event happen. And FCTA and Fernley and the attendees give you our heartfelt thanks for a great event. I also want to mention the mayor and I, both as the city of Fernley representatives and then as a Nevada League of City representative, spent a week in DC 2 weeks ago after speaking to Congressman Amedee, Senators Cortez Masto and Rosen. We got back on a Thursday night. Friday afternoon, we were contacted by Congressman Amedee's office, and he has agreed to push building the new Gustafson Bridge. And as well as the water main loop, which will have a water pipe all the way out to about the city-county line. On U.S. Alternate 50. I have a follow-up meeting with Senator Cortez Masto on April 17th, hoping that she and or Senator Rosen will pick up the Ricky Lane water tank, which is another $1.5 million or 1.5 million gallon tank. So the total that I think we are probably going to be supported on is $11 to $12 million. That is not going to come out of the pockets of us directly. It's all taxpayer money, but it's being pushed by our Congress and our senator. And then today we were notified that 7,612 acres has been conveyed to the city of Fernley to start the process of becoming owners of that through assessment, NEPA. And that was just announced this afternoon. The majority of this property is in the southwest area plan. So it's south of the canal and west of 95. And it's that strip in there that is checkerboarded. So those are, it's pretty good, very progressive. And the DC trip was well worth it. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Mendoza.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. I was able to attend the Rotary this week, which was fun. And it was a pleasure to meet with that group of people. I was able to open up for some questions and answers, and there were some pretty good questions and stuff. So I was glad to be invited by them. I also went to the Inferno in my other capacities, and it was a really good event. And I wanted to report as well. I actually talked to the headliner band at the end of it backstage, and I kept calling him Deadpool because it's not my kind of music, but I guess it was Drowning Pool. And I was talking to him about how the community, donated some money to help that happen in the city, and their response was this: we've done a lot of first-time venues, and this was the best first-time venue that they've experienced in 25 years of doing what they do. So I want to say thank you to the ACES for doing it, and glad that our money wasn't wasted, and the community enjoyed it, and I'm looking forward to seeing that grow. And that's all I got to report.
All right, thank you. So I want to report on, I want to thank Mark IV for having their open house last Saturday. It was quite amazing, and I was pretty shocked to see how many people were there. Talking with General Nelson and his staff, that they're going to continue to have more of these open houses, so more people can come and go out there and look at actually what's happened. I think they've moved a total of around 6 million yards of dirt, that's a lot of dirt when you stop and think about it. So I want to thank them for their continued keeping us up to date on what's happening out there. Also, ditto what Councilman Torres was saying about going back to Washington, D.C. It was my first time back in Washington, D.C. and going up on the Hill, the Capitol, and going through that Capitol was simply amazing. If you've never been there, I'd say put it on your bucket list, because they do tours all the time, and it was just really amazing walking down the same steps that all the other presidents in the history of the United States had walked down. So that was pretty exciting. I also had the honor to throw out the first pitch at the Fernley High School baseball game, their first league city, which was pretty exciting for me. I thought maybe I was going to throw my arm out, but I didn't. And then a week later, I got to throw the first pitch out at High Desert Little League. So I want to thank them for the opportunity to go and do that. And it's amazing how many teams that our Little League has. I think he said there were 34 teams, and in the past years, the city of Fernley has had 3 of the senior leagues. That's 14 to 16. This year they have 5 of them, and all the little kids, the T-ballers all the way up, and the baseball field was just full of nothing but baseball players. It was pretty awesome to see. And that's all I have to report. Okay, now we'll move on to line item 4. And I know this isn't on your guys' agenda, but this is something that I really like to do. And this is the Mayor's Spotlight Award. And so this quarter, the Mayor Spotlight Award is going to Fernley Pop Warner Cheer Little League Teeny Might Sparkle Squad. So on behalf of the city of Fernley, I'm thrilled to announce that the Mayor Spotlight Award is being presented to the Fernley Pop Warner Cheer League's Teeny Might Sparkle Squad. That's a mouthful. Many of these remarkable young ladies have been cheering together since they were 3 years old, showcasing their dedication and passion for the sport. This talented squad has not only dazzled local audiences, but has also excelled in regional competition, ultimately capturing the national title in Las Vegas. Yeah. So we extend our heartfelt congratulations to the following young ladies for their hard work, dedication, and extraordinary team spirit. And this is Audrey, Madison, Emma Ray, Janessa, Jolie, Ava Rose, Luna Lynn. The benefits of cheering extend well beyond the mat, fostering personal growth and skills that will serve these young ladies throughout their lives. They truly make our community proud. I would also like to take this opportunity to thank the exceptional coaches who have supported and guided these athletes. A special thanks to head coach Amber Wagner, assistant coaches Tiffany, Ashley, and Kristen. Your dedication and leadership have played a crucial role in the success of this team. Additionally, to the parents, your involvement and support as motivators, chauffeurs, financial backers, and sometimes even impromptu coaches have been invaluable. Congratulations once again to the Teeny Might Sparkle Squad and those who have supported them in this incredible journey. And I have a certificate for them and a mayor's coin.
And we have something for you too, Mayor. So
Yeah,
when are you?
if you can come down and take a picture with us also, that would be amazing. We have something for me.
Oh yeah, I didn't tell you.
No.
My bad.
I was like,
I got it. It's in my.
yeah, come on. Oh my gosh.
Okay, so this is for Audrey.
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 Where are you?
Where's Audrey? There's Audrey.
Here,
That's for
come here.
you.
Raise it. Yes.
Madison. There you go. One for you.
Oh, it's awesome.
Emma Ray. Janessa.
Don't cry, French. I got a whole meeting to go.
That's for you. And you say Jolie?
Jolie.
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 Yours?
All the parents are welcome to come to the center.
Oh.
and take a
Yeah,
picture.
Ava Rose.
Emma, wait, who is it? Wait.
Ava.
Ava.
I think
Ava,
that's what I
yeah,
said.
yeah.
Ava Rose.
Oh.
There you go. And Luna?
Right there.
There's one for you. Okay. That's no pictures.
Here you go, Mayor, real quick.
Also, you should have some left over. And I got these for the coaches.
Oh my gosh, thank you.
Coaches. Coaches. And
Thank you.
coach.
Thank you.
And if the parents want to come up close, they can.
So we got you a championship ring to get.
Girl, show your rings off.
Show your ring, and when you get your pictures, make sure you hold your rings
You
up,
match
okay?
the mayor.
There you go.
All right. Yeah, that's nice. Wow, you each got one of these?
Yeah, they're Super Bowl rings.
Good job.
It don't even fit my fingers.
Pick first. There you go.
Really?
Yeah, everyone get close.
I don't want to bother you.
I don't bite. I mean. Jeez, guys.
Oh, I gotta hold my ring.
Hold your award, everything. There you go. Oh, There you go. Back, yeah. Good job, ladies. What do you, hey, what do you ladies say? Thank you. Everyone say thank
Mayor,
you.
Mayor, can we get one more picture for the city?
Oh, that might help.
Come back, come back.
City photos happening.
Oh.
I know.
I'm gonna go on this
One
side.
more big smile, girls. 1, 2, 3.
Guess so.
Thank you. Girls, stay right here, please.
Congratulations, good job. Good job.
Good job,
girls.
girls, ladies.
Good job.
Awesome job.
Good job. Good job.
Good job, ladies.
Lingo, good job.
Great rating.
Coaches,
Thank you.
awesome job.
Thank
It's
you.
a lot of
Great.
work on. A lot of work on.
Oh my gosh.
Congratulations, great
I
job.
know.
I don't do that.
Good job, ladies.
Yeah.
Thank you. Next.
Awesome rating.
Good job.
Congratulations.
Next, girls.
There you go.
Woo-hoo, good job.
All right. All right. That's totally awesome. Let's go. Hey, everyone meet out front.
If council could stay down here for just a minute, we have some more awards to give out. Hey, Joe, would you grab?
Coins? No coins. Let me grab something here.
Oh, I just need one. Have to put my readers on.
I'm gonna read it.
Yeah, here.
Okay. Which one do you want to do first? This one?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna read it so that he doesn't have to put his readers on.
Well, in my search.
Office of the Mayor, City of Fernley, Nevada proclamation. Do you have the, oh, this proclamation is for Donate Life, whereas nearly 700 Nevadans and more than 100,000 people in the US are currently in need of an organ transplant. And whereas many people are added to the nation's organ transplant waiting list each day, 1 every 8 minutes, and whereas approximately 13 people die daily in the United States, each waiting for an organ transplant. And whereas 1 organ, eye, and tissue donor can heal more than 75 people, and whereas every person, regardless of gender, age, race, ethnicity, or economic status, has the power and potential to transform a life through organ, eye, and tissue donation. And whereas registering as an organ, eye, and tissue donor at the local Department of Motor Vehicles or online at www.nbdonor.org signifies our fundamental human responsibility to help others. Now, therefore, you
Neil Lee McIntyre.
do hereby proclaim April 2026 Donate Life Month in the city of Fernley. I encourage all residents to join me in promoting organ and tissue donor education throughout Donate Life Month.
And this has been accepted by Brooke Goodnight. Is she here? Brooke. Okay, so Kim was kind enough to print this out in big letters for me, so now I can read it. This is for animal control. Whereas the city of Fernley recognizes the importance of a health, safety, and well-being of animals, whereas all 50 states have statutes recognizing animal cruelty as a crime, and whereas Nevada revised statute and Fernley Municipal Code define animal cruelty, acknowledge it as a crime, and sets penalties for the intentional abuse of domestic and companion animals, and whereas the city of Fernley endorses appropriate penalties against those responsible for the intentional abuse of domestic and companion animals, and whereas awareness of the connection between animal animal abuse and human violence can help protect those who are vulnerable. And whereas the month of April is recognized national and as the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals Month. Now therefore, I, Neely McIntyre, do hereby proclaim the month of April 2026 as Prevention of Cruelty to Animals Month and urge working together to prevent, recognize, and report signs of animal abuse and to protect all animals from abuse and neglect. And Randy Gars can accept this.
All members who work to fight against animal cruelty, please join me up here in accepting this proclamation from the mayor.
You got a team here.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. This next one also has to do with animal control. But whereas the National Animal Care and Control Association has designated the second week of April each month as Animal Care and Control Officer Appreciation Week. Whereas the various federal, state, and local government officials throughout the country take this time to recognize, thank, and commend all animal control officers and animal shelter staff for their dedicated service they provide. And whereas animal service officers provide essential community functions, including the enforcement of state and municipal laws, protecting the public from disease such as rabies, capturing roaming or potential dangerous animals, investigating reports of animal complaints, neglect, and welfare. And whereas animal service officers can continually put themselves in potential dangerous situations to protect the health and welfare of all kinds of animals and the public. And whereas animal service officers who answer calls for assistance, educate pet owners about responsible pet care, provide for the proper care of animals in their custody, to protect the welfare of homeless animals from injury, disease, abuse, and starvation. Now, therefore, be it resolved that I, Neely McIntyre, Mayor of the City of Fernley, do hereby proclaim April 12th through the 18th, 2026 as National Animal Care and Control Appreciation Week. Encourage all citizens to join us in expressing their sincere appreciation for the service and dedication of our animal services employees. At this time, we're going to take a 5-minute break. We'll now move on to line item 5 ordinances, 5.1, introduction and first reading regarding Bill 381 associated with ZMA 26001, a request from M4 Victory Power Q OZB LLC for parcel 021-031-13 containing approximately 107.87 acres and generally located east of Interstate 80, west of Fernley Sink Lake, northeast of Duffy Road, and the north of the existing Victory Logistics Plant Community, rezoning the property from GR 20 General Rule 20 acre minimum to I Industrial. And presenting this is Tristan.
Good evening, Madam Clerk, Mayor, members of City Council, Tristan Rodriguez, Senior Planner for the record. The item before you is the first reading of Bill 381 associated with ZMA 26001, which is a request to rezone approximately 107.87 acres from General Rule GR 20 to Industrial I. And as this is the first reading, no action is required at this time. In short, this is a zoning map amendment for a property that was recently annexed into the city and is located in the northeast portion of the city of Fernley, generally east of Interstate 80 and adjacent to the existing Victory Logistics Plan development. The purpose of this request is to align the zoning of the property with the surrounding zoning pattern and ensure consistency with the city's master plan. The proposed industrial zoning district is anticipated to be compatible with the surrounding land uses and is appropriate given the site's location along the city's periphery. Public notice was provided in accordance with code, and Planning Commission reviewed this item on March 11th and recommended approval to City Council with a 7-0 vote. This concludes my introduction. I will be back at a later meeting with the full presentation, but at this time, I can address any high-level questions this body may have.
Any questions at this time? So we'll move on to line item 5.2. Introduction and first reading of Bill number 377, a request from the Planning Department to amend the adjacency development standards contained in Title 32, Chapter 9, Section 30. Once again, Tristan is presenting.
Good evening, Madam Clerk, Mayor, City Council, Tristan Rodriguez, Senior Planner for the record. The item before you is the first reading of a development code text amendments to the city's adjacency standards under Title 32. No action is required at this time. In short, adjacency standards are intended to ensure compatibility between different types of developments, particularly where higher density and more intense uses are located next to lower density residential areas. However, the city's current standards have proven to be unclear, difficult to apply, and at times have resulted in inconsistent outcomes for both applicants and neighboring property owners. The amendment is a comprehensive update to that section. It improves clarity, establishes more objective and measurable standards, and introduces additional options, particularly through a defined buffering alternative to achieve compatibility between uses. Overall, the goal is to create a more predictable and effective framework that results in better project design, smoother review processes, and improved compatibility between developments. The Planning Commission reviewed this item on March 11th and recommended approval to City Council with the 7-0 vote. This concludes my introduction. I'm available for any questions.
Seeing no questions, thank you.
I have a question.
Oh, I keep looking at the screen.
I'll just
Okay.
speak up.
Yeah, just speak up if you have a question. Go ahead, Councilwoman Zaberski.
Hi,
Hello.
thank you. I'm actually really excited about this. I feel like adjacency standards have been like just my whole career as a council member. I did have a question on section E of the amended. It's under adequate buffering. On 1A, rural adjacency. It says the subdivision is not required to provide 1/2 acre transitional edge lots adjacent to parcels zone GR 20, R5, R1, or RR 1/2 along that common boundary line. I just didn't know if the not was a typo.
Sorry, I was finding that. I'm going to read it once more and just give me 1 second.
Okay.
Actually, could be. What are your thoughts on that, Michelle?
We'll take a look and review it before we
Mhm.
come back for the adoption. If we need to, if there's a typo, we'll take it out if we need to.
Okay, can I just reread it so that you can clarify if it's not accurate or not?
Sure.
Okay, it says rural adjacency. The subdivision is not required to provide 1/2 acre transitional edge lots adjacent to parcel zone GR 20, RR 5, R1, R1/2 along that common boundary line.
Yeah, I'd have to go back and look at the previous section
Mhm.
above that to see what they're talking about exactly, and I don't have that in front of me. So we'll take a look before we come back, and I'll have an answer for you then.
Okay, thank you.
Right, thank you. We'll now move on to line item 5.3. Introductory and first reading Bill 382, amending Fernley Municipal Code Title II Administration, Chapter 8, Mayor and City Council, Section 2.08.01, salaries and annual increase by adjusting the salaries for mayor and council. And
Good evening, council members and Mr. Mayor, Mitzi Carter, HR Manager for the record. This is the first reading for this item, and we will rediscuss this or discuss this on the April 15th agenda. There is no action required at this time. Do you have any questions, however?
we have
Thank
no
you.
questions at this time. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
We will now move on to line item 6.1, discussion possible action. Excuse me, on resolution number 26-005 requested by Mark IV Capital, authorizing formation of a working group to establish the estimated cost for the creation of a Fernley Power District, a municipal utility to serve the Victory Logistics District, and directing the preparation of an ordinance pursuant to NRS 266.290. Ms. Rambo.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of council. As noted in the title, this was a request of Mark IV, and I'm going to turn it over to them to give you the information that they have been gathering and answer any of your questions.
Thanks, Michelle. Rick Nelson, Mark IV for the record. What we're doing here is establishing a district working group to provide the council with the detailed analysis that goes with forming one of these. And we'll come back to the council based on our schedule in 30 days to lay that out. So you'll see what the district is, how it's formed, what the costs are, and how the costs are absorbed. In general terms, the district is self-funded. It funds by what's the communities inside the district, those are the advanced pieces. And it has a generation element that goes with it. That generation element allows those things to take place. I brought with me Bob Sweeten, who is our energy attorney, and he'll walk through the processes to do that. The one thing we do ask the council of the city to do is we have a 3-member board to do this work. We have a power company representative. We've got a Mark IV representative. We'd like the city to provide a representative with some energy background. Our only constraint, it can't be a sitting council member, but it can be anybody else within the city that has that type of elements, and they'll be part of the working group. So you'll have a 3 different person look at this whole area. So again, to form this working group, it allows us to build this out. We're following the NRS statutes to lay this out. I'll stop there for any questions, or I can turn it over to Bob Sweeten.
I have a question.
Sure.
Councilman Mendoza.
So reading through your guys' proposed membership for this working group, it looks like it's comprised of the 3 members you're talking about, City of Fernley, Mark IV, and Stella Power. I'd like to see a representative from the fire district to be added to that, since it is a major infrastructure upgrade and there's potential for hazards that need to be discussed with the fire district.
No issue.
Cool.
So again, the city, your prerogative to add that in. Again, the key elements are development, power, and then the city's with someone with electrical background that can understand all the things that are going on. And so we welcome the fire district to be part of that. No issue with that at all.
Awesome. Thank you.
Councilman Torres.
I believe that my suggestion for the person from the city would be the Public Works Director, Barry Williams, to sit on the board. I just want to make sure that's on the record. Thank you.
All right, so I'm going to let Bob Sweeten come up and he's going to walk through just the process of what we go through, and you'll have an idea what you're going to get back on I think it's 5 or 6 May when we come back. Okay. No more questions, Bob?
Thank you, General Nelson. Bob Sweeten for the record, legal counsel, energy counsel for the Mark IV project. This is a really fun, interesting, unique time in Nevada's history. Nationwide, we have these energy constraints everywhere. Nevada's laws are kind of uniquely situated to allow our rural communities an opportunity, a financial opportunity they haven't really seen before. And we've certainly, in working on these projects, taken lessons from the past, right? And the boom and bust economies that we've had throughout our state's history to make sure that cities are kept safe through this process. So the technical method to form one of these municipal utilities, and it has been done several times in different communities in the state of Nevada, is you first form this working group. That working group is going to bring back 2 primary components. It's going to be what it's going to cost to get the district up and running, what it's going to cost to continue running the district over time, and then obviously how that's paid for. You will see in your background materials, there are a couple of documents. Those aren't, anything that you'll see in final form. They'll be very different than that. But substantively, there will be a narrative report which explains the financial findings that this working group comes up with. And then there will be also an attached kind of more financial specific document that supports those numbers. Happy to answer any questions on those when we get to that point. As General Nelson stated, the schedule here is, because of the opportunities that exist right now, we can do this on a pretty quick schedule. It's not like we have to go out and find interested parties. There's a lot of them. So we would intend to have this working report back to the council by April 26th. The council will then be able to take that up at their May 6th meeting for introduction. Then because of the unique nature of forming one of these districts, there's a 4-week publication period. So that ordinance is then published for 4 weeks. Mark IV, as was already kind of referenced in the meeting tonight, they had their first open house last Saturday. They're going to continue to hold those open houses for the community, for yourselves, other members of city staff, to ask questions. We're always going to be available through this process to answer any questions that we can, resolve any concerns. And we would intend that this formation ordinance or this creation ordinance for the district would ultimately be adopted sometime in the month of June. And that would be based on what is published during that May 6th meeting. So I just want to briefly discuss kind of what we see as some of the opportunities here and how the city of Fernley can kind of capture and kind of create its own destiny. These power districts require an immense amount of capital investment and capital outlay because of the particularly large loads, large electric loads that we're dealing with here. The city has, these opportunities through both building permit fees, franchise fees and the like to bring in revenues that really aren't feasible in any other industry, including gaming in Vegas. We're doing some of these projects in Southern Nevada, and the numbers that we see dwarf gaming substantially. So this is really an opportunity for the city of Fernley. I'm a 3rd-generation Nevadan, native Nevadan, born and raised here, and have lived here almost my entire life, except for some time out of the state. And I will say that I would submit, and I've said this in numerous public meetings across the state, there's never been an opportunity like this. It's very exciting. We're here to answer questions, happy to do so. I'll stop there, happy to answer any questions. I know you guys have a few other substantive items on the agenda for tonight.
I do have one question.
Go ahead, Councilman Mendoza.
How does the power company play into this? If are we going to be completely separate off their grid?
Yeah, by power company, you mean NV Energy?
NV Energy, correct.
Yeah, that's correct, Councilman Mendoza. So what And I will say this, I've been working in this industry for about 7 years now. Prior to that, I was the Mesquite City attorney for 8 years. So I definitely have like a real sincere soft spot in my heart for the rural communities and funding issues that you all have. And I talked to Bill for a while in the back of the room. It was like being back in Mesquite, man. I mean, that it is rough. So 2 years ago, there was no interest in being off of NV Energy's grid. There just wasn't. Everybody wanted to be under NV Energy's system. With the delays and the extreme increase in demand, which is now NV Energy's numbers that they testified last week at the legislative hearing on this issue, is at 21 gigawatts. Northern Nevada's entire load for Sierra is around 2.2 gigawatts at peak. So obviously, right, that's a big disparity. The utility, the company itself, NV Energy, they're heavily regulated by the Public Utilities Commission. They're a very large company. They have a parent company that they also have to report to. And when you get into those really complex corporate organizations, it takes a long time to do things. And so the delay right now is really one of regulatory approvals, costs. We all know about Greenlink and what's going on there, and we're waiting for that to get finished. In the last, I would say, year, we've seen an extreme interest in forming these ring-fenced utility systems. So it won't be connected to NV Energy system initially. It will be at some point once all that infrastructure comes in and is built, but the systems will be built so that they could provide what's known as 3 nines reliability. So it's up 99.9% of the time. That's what the end use customers demand. There will be a mix of generation resources to reach those goals. And all of that will be financed by the end users and the developers, the generation developers.
If I may,
Yeah.
Joe, we talk with NV Energy on sorry about Councilman Mendoza. We talk to NV Energy weekly in various states. And we just conveyed to them a piece of land for their substation. We're building a substation next to it, and we're working with the designers for an interconnect. So that interconnect will be built in and designed into it. We expect NV Energy to eventually be prepared to bring power up. Eventually is 5 years, 8 years. There's really no one can put a thumb on exactly when it's going to happen. They just recently discussed at the legislative session a large load energy services agreement, which puts all the requirement on the large customers to pay for it. So we have an opportunity here to take those large customers and give them something they can't get for 5 to 7 years. And Fernley has a chance to take advantage of that at the same time. That's a lot of load in the last 2 years, as Bob pointed out. How much load is going to happen in the next year? And again, that just continues to constrain and restrain the public utilities' ability to bring it forward. So by building your own district and allowing you to have a power source in that, it gives the city of Fernley the opportunity to have an energy services company that you would franchise. And all that will be presented to you with the details that come out. And from that, you create a franchise fee. So again, the franchise fee is based on the load that is sold to the larger customers, and that comes to the city as part of your revenue stream. As Bob pointed out, there's property taxes, there's workmen that are going to go in, there's sales taxes, and there's enormous other elements of resources that come to the city from these larger customers coming in. I will tell you that we've talked a lot about what we're going to do in Victory. Next week, we start the Western Nevada's first college for workforce development. It starts. So that's going on. From that, we have a big demand for additional vocational courses to go through that. So we're working to bring that up. So we have a workforce that will then begin to look at Fernley as its home of residence and can expand. Again, giving back to the community. All that's predicated on the ability of these large businesses to come in. They're coming here because of the ability to gain power years ahead of the public utility. Now, again, we're perfectly able to interconnect with the public utility when they're ready to interconnect. And that's really an unknown right now, but we are having those conversations with them. So we're not walking away from the public utility. We're doing something in lieu of their ability to provide support. And I think it's a great windfall for the city of Fernley to take advantage of this. And we're laying this out in a very methodical way So you get exactly what you need in all the detail. Again, the district is formed on blank land, so there's no existing service inside this land that goes with the public utility or CR Power. So everything that grows in this district will be served by the district, serviced by a service company under a franchise by the city, where that franchise pays a fee. There's a board that you'll see that we'll bring to you in the next 30 days that walks through the ordinances that go on top of that to govern this, that comes under the city. So we report back to the city on rate, on policy, following the statute that's put out here. It's also in your resources that we provided to you. Again, we'll lay this out in extreme detail. We welcome Barry if you're the pick, and we welcome a member of the fire department to be part of that. We've got nothing to hide. We've got everything to show. I think the benefit is to the city, and we encourage you to take your look at that and take advantage of it, because it is there. You know, we had a lot of people last weekend at the open house. We started the railroad. We're actually out there building it right now. It's going in. The water line's almost complete. The roads are detailed out there. We expect to be paving those roads in the next 8 months. Again, this is all taking place. I know it looks a little slow, but it's building up. So again, this is just the next step toward bringing a lot of industry here, a lot of manufacturing, and then having Fernley take advantage of all that. So again, that's a lot to consume. I understand that. We're going to do our next open house in the first or second week in May. We'll get that out. We'll let everybody know that. We encourage everybody to come out and see what's going on and go into details. I'll get that information out to the city, Mr. Mayor, shortly. So I'll stop there for any questions, but there's a lot going on. We've got a lot of experience with Bob, and also a number of municipal utilities that have set up just like this outside of the public utility space in the state of Nevada that have paved the way for a very successful process. So we want to take advantage of what people have done ahead of us and give that advantage to the city of Fernley. And I'll stop there.
Awesome. Thank you. My next question is for our city attorney. How acquainted are you with the resolution that's in this agenda item? And who wrote this resolution?
Aaron Mortson, city attorney. I have read it and reviewed it. We did meet about it, and that was written by Bob.
Yeah, Councilman Mendoza, I wrote the resolution, and that was mostly just because I know city staff is constrained, and Mr. Morrison had opportunity to review, and we discussed it.
Cool. Any concerns from our city attorney?
We went back and forth on it, but I don't have any concerns.
Okay. So
Do you have more questions, Joe?
I have no more questions. Thank you, guys.
Any other questions?
I'll be ready to make a motion once we're done with questions.
Councilman Torres.
So a couple of questions. First off, how are you guys going to meet the statute that says you have to have a certain percentage of renewable energy out there?
Yeah, great question, Councilman Torres. That has come up. That's being planned into the process, and that will be, part of the subsequent discussions we'll bring to this council. The particular document we're going to be preparing with the working group is really going to be just financially specific, but certainly that's something we're happy to have discussions with you about. There's a lot of flux with how RPS is, or the renewable portfolio standard is going to be reached even by NV Energy right now, right? And so we're all working as Nevadans to solve those problems together. I'll just say on the record, we're working, as General Nelson mentioned, recently just negotiated an easement with NV Energy on this. I would submit that was a collaborative process. We're all trading ideas and figuring out how to solve these problems together.
Okay. And my second question is, what's your fuel?
The fuel will be natural gas.
Okay.
So we have submitted to the Federal Energy Regulatory Committee, or FERC, as you may. And so we're currently in the pre-FERC process. We expect to go to full application in the end of July, early August of this year. We're using Great Basin Natural Gas Transmission Company to do that, a subsidiary of Southwestern Gas. And they're putting the pipeline in on the currently existing right-of-way that exists along Interstate 80. So that is how it's going to come in. The fuel comes from the the Opal interconnect on the Ruby pipeline up in Winnemucca, and it transmits down here. It's already in your city. It already transmits through your city. They're just upgrading the pipeline to give us the volume we need.
So it's not going to be part of the extension from Winnemucca to here. It's already here.
So no, you have the Great Basin already has a line that comes in. They're going to replace that line. So it's part of their process with FERC is to replace the line, to put a new line all the way down to Fernley. And part of that line that they bring in, that expansion, we're going to get some volume off of that.
Okay, so we don't have the line already in Fernley. It's got to be set.
You have an old existing line in
Okay.
Fernley. They're going to replace that line with a new line. And part of that replacement process is they're going to give us a lateral on that line into the Victory Logistics process district.
And how long is that supposed to take them?
So we're currently in the pre-FERC process. We go to application in August of this year. Upon approval, it'll be constructed over a 8 to 10 month period, and it'll be in service sometime in mid-28.
Okay, because I know that from the information that I have, that if they had to bring a new line down from the Great Basin, that they're talking about a 3-year project.
Yeah, Councilman, I think I'm familiar with the literature you're probably referring to. We're happy to share with you the information that Southwest Gas has put about this the 2028 expansion project. The late in service date is estimated to be November of 28. We believe that there will be components of that line that will be operational before, just because of geography, Fernley being one of the sooners, because that line will go further south and into Story County as well.
Okay, thank you. And then my last question is, are we getting a little bit ahead of ourselves? Because I'd really like to see Nevada Pacific Parkway done before we start building something else out there this big.
I don't think we're getting ahead of ourselves. We're on the process to build the parkway. We're at 60% plans, going to 90 in May, 100% in July. Come to the city and request the special assessment district, and we're going to go right to construction. We're ready, prepared to build that. While we build that, it'll be simultaneously the Fernley Power District goes in at the same time. And so being sequential is not going to help us. Being simultaneous is. So we are attacking Nevada Pacific, and that's going to happen. And we've got a really good plan. We can lay that out for you in detail. But at this point, we are building it from 80 to 50. We're in 60%. We're getting ready to go to 90%. Once we get through 90% through the NDOT approval process, and we go to the 100%, that 100% goes to that approval process. We come to the city. We have a plan. We'll have a general contractor. We'll have a price, and we'll build it.
So what are we looking for if best case scenario, everything goes smooth on breaking ground in that overpass?
So the overpass everything goes smooth, and we can start this process by the end of this year. Most likely, the actual bridge is the longest part to build. So we can build the Interstate 80 to Gavin Road portion, 6-7 months. We can build that little portion that takes you to the bridge, same time period. The bridge itself, just because it's a bridge, about 18 months to build it. And you just can't go, it's physics, you can't go any faster. So at the total, we'll be done by the end of 28, probably early 29, and it'll be open.
Okay, because I know you guys have the same frustrations as we do with, I mean, that was awarded in October of 22. The money from the feds, and it has been a long haul. And I know a lot of that is at the federal level with changing which agency is going to oversee it and resubmitting papers. But you understand the caution on behalf of the city that we have with not overextending our staff and making sure that things are not on the back of our residents. We just can't do that. And I'm sure you guys understand.
We do understand it. I will bring up, Councilman Torres, that the city asked us to build the road entirely from 80 to 50. So we've taken that on, right? And so the original plan was just to build the bridge from Gavin to 50. So you just have that small portion area. We're going to build the entire road. So you have a complete parkway, which is what the NDOT wanted for its dedication, which fits into the city's plans for its ability to swap in a future time period. The detail to do that, the city asked us to acquire the land without condemnation. We've done that. We're going through that process now. The city asked us to put the entire road together at the same time. We're doing that. We went through the process with the grant. The grant isn't going to get us there. We can now build it under a special assessment inside the district, so it doesn't affect any of the taxpayers of the city. And we can do it in a much more deliberate and with the speed of march that makes the city happy. We can get it done by early 29. And that's, you can cut the ribbon, drive across it. So we're working toward that. We're working diligently to get that done. If you talk to the engineers in the city, the review process and the design process, going through UP, getting through a number of the areas just takes time. And I'd love to go faster. Believe me, I express that all the time when I talk to them, that we'd like to move quicker. But we have 4 different review cycles for everything we do. And unfortunately, everyone gets a say, and every say has to be addressed, and that just takes time. But the good news is we're coming to 90%. We're very confident we'll get to 90% in May, right? And we're pretty confident that barring any major deviation at the 90%, we're going to get to 100% in July. We're going to come back to the city. At that point, if the city approves, we're going to go to construction. I would like to construct because there's a lot to go on here. I'd love to have that done as well, right? If there's a number one thing I heard over the open house was, please relieve the traffic circle. We hear everyone loud and clear. We're working toward it.
I think it's a good idea if we were, if council and staff probably knows, but if council was given a go back to the monthly updates that we were doing that have just fallen off the face of the earth. So I'd appreciate if we did that again from our staff.
So Councilman Torres, on the 5th or the 6th, whenever the next of May, when we have that, I just told the mayor, we're going to present you the 2-year development agreement review of all the things that we're going to do. If the council would like a detailed review of Nevada Pacific Parkway, we can also provide that. I mean, it's just a matter of asking it, and we'll agendize it. We'll come in and brief it. And we'll go end to end, plan the plan as much depth if you'd like to go, to lay it out. I think you're going to find it's a very successful plan. It's very achievable. Again, the bridge is the long pole. Just because we have to build it, it's got to settle, it's got to sit, and then we have to close down the UP main line periodically to put the piers over it, make that work. So again, we have it all in place. We're laying that out. If you come out to the Victory now, you'll see that Gavin's being done. And so we're working again, hand in hand with NV Energy. We're moving the power underground. We're putting the switch on the main line. We're working with NV Energy to get the power to the switch. So again, we have a very good back to energy. We have a very good relationship with NV Energy to do all the things that we're doing. And all of that is prep work to allow the Nevada Pacific a simple way to go through. And we've talked to all the businesses out there to lay that out as well. So we're doing all the acquisition to take all that on, and then we're going to build this out to include moving all the utilities. And everything is provided to the city for review and comment. So I think we're very well connected and very well aligned with everything we're doing.
Thank you.
So I think what Councilman Torres is asking is there any way we could have like a monthly update, whether it's an email or something that on what you're doing out there, like how much dirt you're moving, where you're at on.
Well, I don't want to take up their time coming in here every month. What I'm asking for is just share the information with either the mayor or the acting city manager, and then we can get a report from them. And that way you guys don't have to come every single meeting. You guys have a million other things to do, but we can get that report internally. Please.
We could do that. Yeah. So we're going to provide you a broad overview of all the projects. We can lay that out. And if that's the same format you like for the deputy city manager, if you like that format, we can just update that format on a monthly basis and send it in. And so basically it's cue cards that kind of walk through the bullet points of the progress that's going on. So, I mean, that's easily done. And Scott loves to come here and he'll be able to present that if you need something. So.
Thank you.
All right. Councilwoman Zabriskie.
I don't I don't have too many questions. I think I'm trying to separate this as just working group to establish municipal utility and nothing beyond that, because then I have too many questions. I was curious about the working group schedule because it's pretty aggressive. And I don't know if you are going to have people within that working group that are going to be voting. What happens if something's voted down? And I mean, it's a month. It's just a month of ironing everything completely out. And so I'm like, oh, that feels like a rush. And I'm nervous they're not really giving much grace for disagreements or if you run into any kind of issues with the people that are in that working group.
Do you want to take, okay. Councilwoman Zaborski, thank you. That's an excellent question. And I definitely can see how it might be viewed that way. The working group numbers are really just going to be, hey, what does it cost to establish the district? What are the ongoing operational costs? And how are those revenues going to be recovered? It's not, the planning, even though the working group will meet for a month and have discussion and present this report, these things have already been discussed with a lot of the development partners, right? So there is some certainty, there's some level, and it's known. And we also have exemplars to work off of what it costs to establish these facilities, what will be needed, and the method of payment there. So the month was set, A, to be responsive to market needs, B, to be responsive to the residents of Fernley and getting this thing moving as quickly as possible. And I would submit C, based on just experience and knowing what sort of information is needed there. Certainly, if it comes back before the council on May 6th or it's submitted and there's more information, we would be bringing that back for that final meeting where it's substantively approved in June.
Okay. And is the working group going to be a part of this power district forever?
No, the working group just gets the report together and then the council considers the report and that report is incorporated by reference into the ordinance. It's part of the statutory requirements.
Okay. And once a power district is completely developed, do you plan on having a board or a working group compiled of similar people? I mean,
We do. There's a 3-member board that we propose, and
Okay.
we asked the city to propose a member.
Right, that's this one for the working group. I mean,
No,
once
no, no,
everything is
this-
finished.
This actual power board.
Okay, okay.
So again, they're similar, but, and so there'll be a member from the development community on there, a member from the power community on there, and a member from the city on the regulatory board that sits over the power district. And they report periodically to the city on what's going on in the rate. They also oversee what the energy services company is doing to ensure it's following the rules and regulations set forth. So there are bylaws that come with that. There's requirements that come through that. That's all part of the work that we're putting together.
Okay.
And-
And for, if we are able to add a public safety element to that, correct? Fire
Yeah,
department?
Sure.
Okay. And then the only other question I had was, I understand that the working group has just come up with this, but once we do, start to get into the weeds, then I just want to make sure that our city attorney is very heavily involved as well, just so that we can kind of protect ourselves as a city getting a municipal utility and whatnot.
Absolutely, Councilwoman. I've worked with Mr. Mortensen for a few years now. He's a great lawyer. We work very well together, and he's been quite involved up to this point. That will certainly continue.
Awesome. Thank you.
Councilman Hannan.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you very much for your presentation. I just want to make a couple points. First, I want to thank you for your collaboration with the city. I don't think we've ever had a business partner come to us and work diligently side by side with us to accomplish goals on both sides. So we have goals and you have goals, and to work together collaboratively for the benefit of all with a revenue stream that is almost, I would consider, miraculous in our little town. And I appreciate that. I've always told folks that the access that we have to your knowledge makes us so much stronger. I sort of was joking around with somebody the other day and I said, you know, when you had dial up, you thought you knew what was going on. And when you got high speed internet, holy crud, you know, it opened up your world to just so much more. And that's kind of what I feel like, being able to attend these presentations, these seminars, these meetings, and learning so much, things that globally we weren't aware of here in Fernley, you know, things that are happening all over the world. So I want to thank you for that. I think that's, it's going to be detrimental in our future. A couple things that I wanted to point out about the discussion about the overpass. Originally, the grant and our overpass was simply that, just an overpass. It was a short road overpass to a road that really was no good, that needed a lot of improvements. And so the creation of that overpass blossomed into this entire corridor. On top of that, then the question becomes, how does the city sustain that overpassing corridor with the small funding we had before we're talking about power generation? So $13.5 million budget, how does that work? How do we pay for all of these things? And so the collaboration that Mark IV has and the Victory Project has with NDOT has kind of absolved us of a lot of that liability. So it's working collaboratively with NDOT is going to, in the long run, save the local taxpayers here a lot of money. And so we're appreciative of that journey, and we hope that is accomplished. So that would save the city a huge amount. So some big things happening here that we weren't talking about when we were talking in 2022 about an overpass. You hit a little bit on the bridge component, and there's a settling period, I believe, of 9 to maybe a little bit longer if it settles or there's any kind of movement, and that's the reason that process takes so long. So there's a kind of like a waiting period, and I think that the public has to understand what that is and why it takes so long. So I look forward to working collaboratively with you to get that project completed. Everyone, of course, we're beating a dead horse with this Nevada Pacific thing. Everyone's tired of talking about it, but I'm excited that we're so close to getting that accomplished. And that is because of the hard work of your organization and our partners here at the city. So I look forward to working collaboratively with you. I look forward to bigger and brighter future for Fernley, revenue streams that we can be proud of and do amazing things for the citizens of Fernley, and sort of turn this entire city around and give people the amenities and the services they need and deserve. So thank you very much.
Yeah. Well, I just want to say thank you very much for the presentation and for bringing this project forward to the city of Fernley. I think this is going to be an excellent project for the Fernley, a city. We're always looking at ways to increase our revenues to do several things, parks, streets, and you have to start someplace. And I think this is a great start by putting this committee together. And I think one of the main thing is to keep the public informed on what's happening and to keep this council appraised of everything that it's going on. So I want to thank you as well. At this time, if there's no other questions, I guess I'll entertain. What do we have to have a motion on this resolution? I think we do. So I'll entertain a motion.
And Aaron Mortson, just very briefly before you do that, Mr. Mayor, there was a discussion about a possible amendment to the working board, which would include the Northland Fire District. So any motion that should be made, here's my recommended language for the amendment to section 2 of the resolution, which would say, you cross that out and say the city council hereby authorizes and appoints a working study group, the working group comprised of at least one designated representative from the city of Fernley, Mark IV and Stella Power, and the Northland Fire District, not to exceed 4 members in total.
Perfect. I'll make a motion.
Councilman Mendoza.
Yeah. So being on the fire department as an employee, and also being up here as an advocate for public safety, I will disclose potential conflict of interest for those that might want to start another investigation on me. The matter before this body affects my commitment in a private capacity to the interests of the Northland Fire District. I conclude that the independence of my judgment of a reasonable person in my situation will not be materially affected by this relationship. And because this is not a clear case of disqualifying conflict of interest, the working group is an unpaid position and would not secure unwarranted privileges, preferences, exemptions, or advantages to the fire district. I'm going to be voting on this matter. And I'd like to make the motion to approve 6.1, discussion and possible action for resolution 26-005 requested by Mark IV Capital, authorizing the formation cost for the creation of the Fernley Power District, a municipal utility to serve the Victory Logistics District, and directing the preparation of an ordinance pursuant to NRS 266.290 with the following corrections to the resolution 26005, section 2, adding the North Lyon Fire to the designated representatives list and not to exceed 4 members. And section 4, in no case shall the city of Fernley or North Lyon Fire be obligated to any cost or expense related to the working group or its final report. That is my motion.
Second.
We have a motion by Councilman Mendoza and seconded by Councilman Hannon. Please vote. Motion carries 4-0. We'll now move on to line item 6.2, discussion of possible action to approve resolution number 26-006, authorizing the submission of an application for funding through Nevada State Revolving Fund program for the Highway 50 water main extension and looping project. Who's presenting this? Mr. Song, are you presenting this line item?
Good evening, council members and mayor and the acting city manager. This is Song Kim, utility director of City of Fernley for the record. We are in the processing of applying for the state revolving fund for the Highway 50 water main looping project. But the state requires us to have a series resolution for application. So this is the resolution required by the state. So this is just a resolution that the city allows you to apply for that state revolving fund so that you can proceed with it. Thank you. Any questions?
Councilman Torres?
I don't have a question. I was going to make a motion if there's no questions.
If there's no questions, go ahead. Councilman Torres.
Thank you, Mr. Song. I move to approve that the resolution number 26-006 authorizing submission of an application to the Nevada Office of Financial Assistance for funding through the State Revolving Fund or SRF program for Highway 50 water main extension and looping project.
Second.
We have a motion by Councilman Torres, seconded by Councilman Hannon. Please vote. Motion carries 4-0. Thank you. Line item 7, this is a public hearing. 7.1 for possible action. Discussion of possible action regarding CA 26001, the bill and Bill 379, a request for the planning department to amend the city's land use table, Fernley Municipal Code Title 32, Chapter 6, Section 150, Table 2, to allow multi-family and mixed-use developments by right in commercial zones pursuant to Assembly Bill number 241.
Good evening, City Council. Tristan Rodriguez, Senior Planner for the record. I'll be presenting Agenda Item 7.1, CA 26001, and Bill 379. This is a Development Code text amendment to update the city's land use table to allow multifamily and mixed-use developments by right in commercial zoning districts consistent with AB 241. So currently, multifamily developments within commercial zoning districts require a conditional use permit. That requirement also extends to mixed-use developments since they are not separately defined in our use table. Assembly Bill 241 requires that cities allow multifamily and mixed-use developments with a residential component by right in commercial zones. Because of that, the city's existing code is in conflict with state law, and this amendment is necessary to bring us into compliance. The proposed changes are limited specifically to the city's use table, which you see on the screen. What this amendment does is change multifamily and mixed-use developments in commercial zones from requiring a conditional use permit to being allowed by right, which is why you see the Cs marked out and the Ps proposed. We also added references to Chapter 36 or 3206 as well. I do want to emphasize by right does not mean unregulated or automatic approval. Projects still must comply with all applicable development standards and will undergo administrative review for conformance with those standards. A development code text amendment is a legislative action and is subject to the city council's discretion. To approve the amendment, city council must take in two primary findings. First, that the amendment is consistent with the city's master plan and state law. And second, that the proper notice was given and a public hearing was held in accordance with the development code and NRS. In terms of consistency, the amendment supports several goals within the city's comprehensive master plan. These include promoting infill development, encouraging higher density housing where appropriate, and promoting development where services can be provided efficiently. However, and most importantly, the amendment is necessary to comply with state law. AB 241 explicitly requires local jurisdictions to allow these types of developments by right, and any conflicting local regulations are considered void. In terms of noticing, a legal notice was published in the Reno Gazette Journal, January 28th. The Planning Commission held a public hearing on February 11th and unanimously recommended approval. Additional notice was provided for tonight's hearing. Staff does recommend approval, and the approval language is on the screen. Here are some alternative motion languages or language as well. And I'm available for questions if you have any.
Does council have any questions? Councilwoman Zaberski?
Thank you for your presentation.
Absolutely.
I know you're probably not going to have all the answers because I feel like most of these developments are kind of subjective if you're mixing mixed use and commercial. But when I very first became a planner, on the planning commission, we went and took a tour of Carson and we got to go into their downtown, and they have a ton of mixed use. They have like all low level commercial, and then upper level is all residential, which I think is super interesting. But because the city of Fernley, I don't think that we have a noise ordinance, and we're kind of watching something play out in Reno and Sparks with mixing the commercial and the residential as far as like noise and events and things like that, that we definitely should try, and since we are making this a possibility, we should try and put something in our code that has to do with, you know, disclosure that your apartment's next to a nightclub or what, you know what I mean? I think that just so that we can avoid some of the issues that we're watching in those places right now, we should have something in our development code, not just allowing it obviously by state law, but also something in there so that people know going into either buying residential in those mixed areas or buying commercial in those mixed areas, kind of what it is. And
that comes along with the territory of
Yeah.
it being in a mixed use nature.
yeah,
Okay.
just so that we can avoid some of those. And other than that, I think it's a great idea.
Do we have any other questions by council? Seeing none, I will now open it up for public comment this time. Do we have anybody on Zoom for public comment on this? No? Okay. One last time for council.
I got one question.
Okay, go ahead.
I got just a question for Mr. Williams over there. Do we have an update about the roundabout? I know it was mentioned, but I was asked and I had no answer for them.
I can provide an update via email if you'd like. Right now, we're still in the design phase of that.
Okay.
I do expect to have some type of development or some type of rendering within the next month and a half, but I can give
Perfect.
you a timeline.
Email's perfect. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Motion.
I don't have the lights, but Councilman Torres was next, so, and then Councilman Hannon.
Are we ready, sir? We're good.
Yeah, Councilman Hannon wanted to make a motion too, but you had asked first, so.
I just wanted to make sure we were done with public comment.
Yeah, we're done with public comment. This was back up on the council and then looking for a motion.
Oh, okay, thank you, sir. Considering the information provided by staff presentations and in the staff report, I move to approve and adopt Bill 379 associated with CA 26001, amending the city's land use table FMC 32.06.150, Table 2 for consistency with AB 241.
I'll second.
We have a motion by Councilman Torres, seconded by Councilwoman Zaborski. Please vote. Motion carries 4-0. We're now on line item 8, public forum. This portion of the meeting devoted to the public. If you wish to comment, you can do so in person at the meeting. Raise your hand, feature Zoom. Star 9 if you're participating via phone. Public comments are limited to 3 minutes. Is there any public input at this time?
I promise to be less than 3 minutes this time. So, I'm just trying to figure out what's going on with the special events or the events paperwork, the procedure, because the 4th of July paperwork has not come back so that we can get everything we need for the special event. So I'm just hoping somebody can follow up on that. In the past, before this current board, and maybe some of the board was on this at the time, we used to have like on 3.1 city staff reports, and it was city staff. And I think going back to having city staff reports would help stop people feeling like things are happening with the city that we don't know about. And it would be nice to get that back because we're not hearing building stats, nothing like that. And it is nice to know. And I know you guys get reports before your city council meetings from the departments, but the public would like to know that too, because we are the city. Somebody asked me to say something nice once in a while. And since I respect this person, I will do that. I would like to say thank you for almost till the very end, non-confrontational meeting. I'm tired of bringing popcorn and boxes of candy for the shows that we've been having. So I do appreciate the meeting tonight, even though it was long. And left.
Thank you. Any other public input at this time?
I'm gonna,
Oh,
can I do public input?
yeah, sure.
Okay. I'm just gonna second what Tammy said. I think that's actually a great idea. And even if staff doesn't have anything to report, it can be, well, I'm working on this and this, or something, just so that everybody feels like we're kind of all in this, and it's a lot more transparent. And so I appreciate that idea, and I think it's a good idea. Thank you.
I like that idea as well. We do get a report from every department every month. So yes, we can look at putting that on our Facebook page on reports. All right. Well, this says our next meeting is April 15th at 5, but I do believe that we have a next meeting is tomorrow night at 5 o'clock. And so, and then after that, possibly on Friday night, if it goes into that. This is our budget hearing, which will be, or meeting, which will be tomorrow night, which is also open to the public. After that, our next meeting, regular scheduled meeting, will be April 15th at 5 o'clock. This meeting is adjourned.